There's a particular kind of frustration that many leaders know very well. Everyone is busy. The meetings are taking place. The reports are being produced. Projects are moving through all their different stages. And yet underneath all that activity, there's a growing sense that the work that really matters is not moving. Decisions are taking too long. Priorities compete with one another. Projects lose direction. Processes become more complicated. And leaders find themselves pulled deeper into the details, trying to hold everything together. Usually the problem is not a lack of effort, nor is it the people that do not care. More often the organization has lost clarity. The original problem was never properly defined. Too many things were labeled priorities. Decision rights became blurred. The project continued long after its assumptions had changed. A process was automated before anyone asked whether it was still required. Or a leader became the point through which every important decision had to flow. This is where complexity begins to take on a life of its own. The organization remains active, but it loses traction. I'm Pietro Pazzi, and in this series, which I'll make into a playlist here on this channel, is called Clarity and Traction, when important work gets stuck. It's really about simplification tactics. In each video, I'll take one particular leadership or organizational problem and look beneath the obvious symptoms. We'll explore questions such as, why does an initiative, program, project look healthy on paper when everyone senses it is in trouble? Why do capable organizations make decisions so slowly? Why should an executive sponsor, or what should an executive sponsor actually do? And how do you reduce an overloaded portfolio without creating political chaos? And not to forget, why do dashboards give leaders more information but not better decision making? And then finally, how do you use AI to improve work without simply automating existing complexity? The starting point behind the series is simple. Most organizations do not need more activity. They need greater clarity about what matters, what is getting in the way, and what must happen next. Sometimes that means removing unnecessary work. Sometimes it means simplifying a process. Sometimes it means improving the way decisions are made. And occasionally it means stepping back and redesigning the structure or the work altogether. But there's another dimension as well. Organizational problems are rarely only technical. A project may have a governance problem, but it may also have a sponsor who is avoiding a difficult decision. A team may have too many priorities, but the deeper issue may be a leadership group unwilling to make trade-offs. A process may be slow, but the real obstacle may be unclear authority, fear of risk, or a culture in which nobody wants to challenge how things have always been done. That is why I look at both sides of the equation: the operating system of the organization and the inner operating system of the leader. These will not be abstract discussions about leadership. Each video will begin with a situation you may be very familiar with and recognize. We'll examine what may really be happening, the mistakes leaders often make, and the practical ways to move forward. My aim is not to give you another elaborate framework to implement, because that's going to add to the complexity. It is to help you see the situation more clearly and identify the next useful move. Because when important work becomes stuck, the answer is rarely to push harder. It is usually to pause, understand what is happening, what's creating the complications, and to make sense of it in order to make clearer choices. So, if you are responsible for an important decision, project, process, or transformation, and it is not quite moving as it should, This series is probably for you. So subscribe, follow the series, and join me as we explore how leaders can simplify complexity, strengthen execution, and help important work get traction again. Let's begin.